You're listening to Go Running Talks, a podcast by Go Running Tours. Quick, fun chats with our guides, guests, and partners from around the world. Get ready to discover new cities, inspiring stories, and the shared joy of running anywhere on the planet.
Hi, my name is Lena. I'm the founder of Go Running Tours, and welcome to yet another episode of Go Running Talks. This time I'm joined by my colleague Citla, who has been one of my longest colleagues. I think Citla joined 8 years ago or 9 years ago. She's the city manager in Mexico City. But Citla, instead of me introducing you, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, Lena. Thank you. Yes, I'm the longest. I don't want to say the oldest. I hope no.
We have a few that has that title. You're not that old yet, but the longest, definitely.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm from Mexico City. My name is Citla. Everybody calls me Citla. Obviously, it's easier. And I've been with Go Running Tours since 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes.
almost in January, almost 11 years.
Fantastic. And it's been a joy.
And it's been a joy, of course. It's been challenging, but definitely a joy. Yes. Knowing people from everywhere with different mindsets, perspectives, running style, fitness. It's definitely a learning way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think also, Citla, because you joined so early, you were really in the early start where we were just cheering every time we got one booking. And then everything was going well. Then COVID came, and then we sort of had to pick things up again. So it's definitely been
But we're here.
a ride.
You're persistent.
Still here. Exactly. Before we're of course going to talk about the running tours. We talk about Mexico City as a destination and sort of all things in between. But before we start on that, why don't you tell us, or at least me, a little bit about sort of your running journey, how long you've been running, how did you get into running?
Well, I always was like a tomboy. I always like sports and I practice many of them. Running at first looked like this is easy. I can run everywhere. I just need a pair of shoes. Of course, I was so wrong. I started a little bit before the running tours, but I think with the running tours, that's when I got into it. I learned the proper way, the proper technique. Like you said, at first, I think we have the business for 2 years, and then the first year of the business in Mexico City, nobody knew about the business, about the running tours. You spoke with people, and people were like, "But why running?" Like, why a running tour? Well, because it's fun. It's you cover more ground. It's active, you know. Anyway, nobody understood about the concept at first, at least here in Mexico City. And then the second year, I started running so much. Had so many injuries, and that was the first time I looked for a coach, like for a proper coach to teach me how to run. And the first time he saw me, he told me, like, you have the worst technique I've ever seen in my life.
At least you know your starting point, right?
Yeah. And I was like, I think that's why I got so many injuries while running with all the running tours. Anyway, it's been a journey. I love running. Above all, I love long distance. Anyway, I think with the running tours, that's how I started, actually, like the proper running and stuff. Yeah.
And I mean, if we take away the running tours, what's your best running memory? Just of running.
Just of running. Like my first attempt to run a marathon. I don't know if it's the best one, but I finally understood what it was running, you know, because at first I took it lightly, like it's just running. It's natural in humans, right? No, it wasn't. Of course, I didn't finish and that's when I thought, well, you have to take this more seriously. Of course, it's natural, but we have to learn how is the proper way. So I think one of my, I don't know if the best, but that one that I remember the most was watching all these people running, some of them suffering, some of them running really fast. And I was impressed. And I was like, okay, I want to do this the proper way and I want to finish a marathon. So that's one of my like best memories, you know?
Fantastic.
The one
It's
that
rare that,
got stuck.
yeah. I don't know. I was going to ask you about your worst memory. I don't know whether that's linked as well. Do you have like a worst running memory?
No, I don't think so. No, it's a whole experience running. You know that too. It's like all the runners know we have good days, good runs, bad runs. All of it is part of the experience. So I cannot say I have a worst or a bad uh, memories and experiences, good ones and bad ones.
Part of the journey. I always find running very humbling. You know, sometimes you're flying and everything is going super well, and other times you think you've done everything right, and then it's like the hardest run ever.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You think you already know everything. I have 10 years of experience. Ha ha.
Exactly. Excellent. And what about sort of if you then move on to sort of the running tours, then I will say I'll let you explain about your running tours, but there's a couple of my personal bucket list running tours is in Mexico City with you. Which, I mean, tell us a little bit about running tours and which one is the most popular one, because you have a great variety of tours.
Oh yeah, and I never thought the most popular one would be the most popular one. The longest one that I have, the longest one is a 20K, but that's in a volcano. And here in the city, the 15K, that's my longest one. And I never thought people would run that one. And I remember we have this talk about, hey, Citla, you need to have a longer runs, larger tours. And I was like, I don't think people will run that. Oh my God, the 15K, everybody books the 15K. And I have one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And everybody takes that one. I guess it's because you really cover a lot of the city, different stages, different parts of history in the city while you run that tour. So you get to see the different areas of the city. So I guess that's why the most popular one. And the one that also has the more reviews. So everybody book that one, you know? So the 15K is like the most popular one. And then the 20K in the volcano.
Exactly. I remember when you wrote to me, it was like, Lena, I have this idea about running on a volcano. And I was like, what? And this is also to display a little bit my ignorance. I didn't know there was a volcano so close to Mexico City. And it's not just one, because not long ago you were a bit like, well, you know, there's something going on with this area here, so we'll just switch to another volcano. And I was a bit like, well, how many volcanoes do you have? Plenty. I think maybe explain a little bit about the volcano tour, but because that is, I mean, it might not be the most bookable one, but it is the one people rave about the most, I think.
Yeah, also that one is popular, and I never thought it would be because, it's 2 hours drive to the volcano and then 2 hours back, and it's about 4 or 5 hours of tour, depending on each runner, of course. And my experience, most of the people, if they are not used to the altitude of the city, they are not used to the altitude of the mountains and volcanoes in Mexico City. That one is about 4,200 meters over the sea level. So it's pretty spectacular, of course. The place is beautiful, it's gorgeous. Anytime, it doesn't matter the season. It's beautiful. The colors, I've been there many times, so the colors are different. The sensations are different, and everybody has a different experience. I think most of the people who book that tour, most of the runners, they book that tour for the experience of running in, a high altitude. So the tour is more about a combination of running and hiking, because of course there's an area where it's almost impossible to run. You have to hike at the beginning of the tour. So people can get used to the altitude and see how they feel and see how fast they want to run. Of course, the altitude doesn't allow you to run as fast as you want. But I think they look the experience, and like I said, the place is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's like being outside a little bit outside of the city for a couple of hours is also nice. I know people come to see the city, but if you have the opportunity to go outside and explore, like you say, a volcano near to the city, it's always fun. At least
Yeah.
for me, it's always fun.
Well, we have had some guests who I'm sure they also thought it was fun, but they also wrote in the reviews, mind the altitude.
Yeah, of course. When I get the expression of, I never thought it would be so difficult. I didn't expect this. And I was like, what were you expecting? Like, I mean, I'm used to, and it's difficult for me. Like you said, good runs, bad runs. Sometimes I go there and I really can't breathe.
Yeah.
So when I get that expression, I didn't expect this. And I was like, okay, what did you expect?
And what's the altitude? Because Mexico City is still very high. What's the altitude of Mexico City?
In Mexico City is 2,200 meters
Yeah.
over the sea level. Yes. So that one is twice the altitude.
It's mad, but it is as I mentioned on my bucket list to do that. It looks
Still waiting
incredible.
for you.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. And then you've had hundreds of guests running with you, Citla, in Mexico City. Is there one tour that sort of stands out as the most memorable, sort of the most fun, the most crazy, is there one tour that sort of stands out?
Yeah, well, many, of course.
Mm.
All of them have been fantastic. I met great runners, great people from all over the world, literally. So talking about the volcano, I recently had this guy last year from Islamabad. I had to look in the map because I didn't even know where is Islamabad. So that's also one of the things that I love about running tours. I had to, honestly, I will confess, I dig a little bit into, the culture, the kind of people who live there, how to treat them, because I know people, they adapt to the country they visit, right? But you always want to be respectful and make them feel good, right? So I had to dig a little bit to do a little bit of research because I never met someone from that place. So I was like, we're going to be like 6 hours together. So I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to say anything wrong about their culture or ask anything wrong. So this guy was impressive because, I don't know, he did a 36-hour flight from Islamabad to Mexico City. He just arrived that day early in the morning. And at 5 a.m., I was picking him up for the tour in the volcano. And he did run the volcano. He actually ran the volcano with the jet lag, the 36 hours of flight. He was running faster than me. And I was like, wow, this guy. And of course, we talk about a lot of things. And I was really impressed because it doesn't matter how different our cultures are or which part of the world we are. It was so much fun. I learned a lot. He learned a lot. He asked lots of things about Mexico, and I get to ask a lot of things about Islamabad, about his family. And it doesn't matter where are you from. Running always brings people together. So that was, for me, simply amazing. And it took that thought from my head, like, oh, this guy comes from a very different culture than me. Not at all. It was one of the most greatest tours I ever had.
Amazing. Incredible. And I think that's part of sort of one of the things that I think sometimes we of course keep it to ourselves, but sort of how much we also get out of a running tour. So the fact that we of course provide a service, we show our city, we show the local culture and the nature, but also that we as guides get so much out of it as well by connecting with different people as well. It's really amazing.
Yeah, of course. I have lots of invitations to many places. I need
we
the
have
time. Travel.
We have best friends all over the world. That's true. Excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That sounds incredible. I hope I hope he comes to Copenhagen, but also that he runs in more cities when he travels.
Yeah, I hope so, because he's a great guy.
Yeah, fantastic. Really good. And then sort of also being conscious of time, we don't want this to we want it to be quick episodes. Then sort of going on to putting on the travel hat now, we talked about running, we talked about running tours. Let's talk a little bit about Mexico City. Is there something that you would recommend that travelers do in Mexico City, or something they should think about that they wouldn't think about otherwise, or that they wouldn't do otherwise, that most people don't know, but that you think they should be doing in Mexico City?
Well, first of all, don't be scared of the city. Most of my runners, they arrive and, oh, I'm a little bit afraid of the city. Like, what is going to happen? It's like, come on, it's like any other big city, you know? Be smart, be conscious, and that's all. But one of the things they always ask, oh, do you recommend this restaurant, you know, the famous ones, the expensive ones, or do you recommend this museum? Of course, the most popular ones that everybody wants to know. And I always recommend smaller places. I don't know, talking about museums, everybody wants to come to the archaeology museum, you know?
Yeah.
That's a huge museum, amazing one. A little bit overwhelming because it's huge, has a lot of history. But we have also another museums, like, for example, I always recommend popular art or the folk art museums. They are smaller museums, but they speak about the culture, the local craft. People like to buy, you know, local craft from Mexico, but they don't know the meaning. And those crafts, they have meaning. So when you explain about the meaning of the colors, the patterns, and why this bird, why this animal. So I always recommend smaller places. I always recommend smaller restaurants. I always recommend ask to your taxi driver or your Uber driver or the people at the hotel. Where will you go to eat? I mean, the fancy restaurants are great, but if you want to experience the culture of the city, then you have to go where the Mexican city people go to eat, you know, or go to visit. You know, Mexico City has lots of activities, lots of places to visit. So look for those small ones. I mean, the big ones and the popular ones are great. And if you don't have time, that's fine. But explore a little bit more the small things of Mexico.
Yeah.
Those ones will surprise you.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So always the small ones.
And is there something that you would say that people shouldn't do in Mexico City? Shouldn't do in that time?
Like I said before, be smart. Don't go into places. Of course, we have places that are not that touristy. And if you go to those places, go with someone who knows the place. You know, every city has different movement, you know?
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So, of course, if you stay in the touristic areas, it's easy. There's a lot of security, a lot of people. But sometimes people, of course, they want to explore the other side of the cities.
Yeah.
So if you do that, that's fine, but don't go by yourself. Like I've been in places that are not touristy. For example, the central historical of the city, the downtown, the historical downtown of the city. And you can notice tourists immediately. They are walking in crowds like. So I know you want to explore the culture. For example, to give you an example, talking about downtown, markets in downtown. Markets in downtown are some of the oldest. And of course, they are super interesting. It's not a touristy area. Don't go without someone who knows the area because you can get lost in the place. And like I said, it's not touristy. So yes, explore different areas, non-touristic areas, but look for someone who knows.
Yeah. Okay.
Not because it's dangerous. It's not for tourists.
Yeah.
But
I
you can
remember
see
this.
clearly.
Yeah. But I remember this sometimes when we've been working on tours. You would say, hey, Lena, we wouldn't go there. We would go this way, right? So you've already, or it's also something you're very conscious of on your tours in terms of what's interesting, what's not interesting, where's worth going, where's not worth going.
Yeah, and it's interesting, but as long as we go in the morning, really early in the morning, because I have bookings at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's like, there's no way we can go in that area with so many people. I mean, the city is a busy area, a busy city. So yeah, of course we can do that, but it depends on the day.
Yeah.
I always recommend, let's go early, 7, 6 a.m. in the morning. You will see the streets empty. And the city changes a lot with people and without people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, I guess that's the
Fantastic.
recommendation of all the cities.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, compared to Copenhagen, where we're only 1.5 million people, I think the difference is bigger.
That's a neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah,
What are you talking
exactly.
about? That's a neighborhood in Mexico City.
Exactly. So I think your point is very good.
Yes, we are 22 million people in the
Yeah.
city.
In just Mexico City, right?
Just
Yeah.
Mexico City.
Incredible. So Citla, last question, or sort of last question, is I always ask this on the interviews, which is what is sort of the best advice? If we go back to running, what is the best advice that you can give to a runner? And it doesn't matter whether it's an advice for an elite runner, a beginner, all runners, or however you want to frame it. But do you have one advice for runners that you want to share?
Take it slow.
Mm.
Really. The altitude of the city is something. Also, there are some seasons in which the city is really polluted. So take it slow. Most of the runners, they want to arrive and go faster, run, 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 run. Half of the way, they are tired and they are definitely not enjoying the run. So take it slow. Some of my guests, what they do is they go a few days. If they have time, they go the day before or 2 days before the running tour to run a little bit, and then they meet their experience. And it's like, I thought it was going to be easier, but please let's do this slowly, and I want to enjoy. So take it slow in the city. I know I had a lot of guests, a lot of runners that are super great runners, almost elite runners. They run super fast and they are super good. But at the end, they ended up really tired because it's the altitude. So my best advice is take it slow, enjoy the city, enjoy the run. And then if you are able to run faster and still enjoying, then do that. But first, take it slow because, like you said, the city will make you humble.
Yeah.
The city will make you humble.
I've never been, but I can just see the reviews. Definitely. And the reviews on the Mexico City tours are great, but they're also very humbling.
And I never mentioned the altitude. I never mentioned the altitude of the city. We start running, but then suddenly half of the way you hear the people like, why am I breathing like this? Like, where are you coming from? From New York. Oh, that's why. You are at sea level and this is not sea level.
Yeah.
So enjoy the city. Enjoy the city. While you run, I think one thing in common we have, all the runners who book tours and all of us as guides, is like everywhere we go to run, right? To enjoy the city, to enjoy the place. We carry our running shoes, and the first thing that we do is go to run and explore the city.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. So I just want to finish off, Citla. We're at the end now. I want to finish off with a little bit of a rapid fire. So I'm just going to ask you a handful of questions, and then you have to sort of say which one which one you choose, right? So if you had to choose between a night and a sunrise run, which would you choose?
Sunrise.
Hills or intervals?
Hills.
It's not that you said it with joy. Long run alone or with a group?
Alone.
Headphones, yes or no?
Nope. Nope.
Post-run, tacos or pastries?
Oh my God. Oh, definitely tacos. Basic back and forth.
And then the last one word to describe Mexico City on foot.
Amazing. Amazing.
And you actually have a tour that's called Amazing Mexico City?
Amazing Mexico City. It's amazing. Yeah. Believe me, I get impressed of the city. I've done this for 10, 11 years with the tours, but every time is different. It's different. There's something different on the streets. There's some different opinion from the guest, a different perspective, and that gives you a different perspective of your city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
It's very refreshing.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. I have nothing else to ask you. So, Citla, thank you for joining. Thank you for taking the time to speak and share a little bit about yourself and about running in Mexico City. And also a huge thanks for me for being my colleague for the last 10 years through the ups and the downs and the sideways and everything else. So thank you for that. And thank you for joining this interview.
Thank you. Believe me, it's been a pleasure being here, and I hope being for a long time.
Yeah, we'll grow old together. You, me, Lapo, and Rachane. We're going to be
Yes,
these pensioner
yes.
runners.
We're still here.
Yeah.
You're
All
stuck
right.
with us.
Thank God. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks a lot. And thank you, everyone, for listening to yet another episode of Go Running Talks. Stay tuned. We'll be coming soon with another one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gotta go, go, go.